Good evening, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us. I am Stephanie Chill, president of Clearwater Sister Cities, and we're so happy that you are with us tonight for the Ikebana demonstration and lecture. We welcome you here with us in Clearwater, but I also want to welcome everyone who is viewing online, especially our guests from our sister city, Nagano, who are viewing, and it's about 8 o'clock their time in the morning. So special thank you for getting up. And also, sorry to the people online. I think I messed up and you're all Stephanie Chill when you're logged in. So if you logged in one of the links I sent, I apologize. We do see that your chats in the chat box. We do see your questions and answers. Tonight's event is one of two virtual cultural exchange experiences between Clearwater and Nagano. Together with our friends in Nagano, we explore culture and art specific to our regions. On a special note, the month of May in America is designated as Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month. So with this event, we are honored to observe a traditional Japanese art form, the art form of Ikebana, through the perspective of our guest speaker, who is a fourth generation Japanese American. I would like to go over a couple instructions for tonight's presentation. For everyone who is in person, please take a moment to turn off your cell phones or to put them on silent. For those online, you are able to listen to tonight's presentation in Japanese or in English. At the bottom right of your corner in your Zoom screen or on your cell phone, it may be 3 dots, the ellipses. You will see an option called language interpretation. This will lead to a pop-up window that will allow you to select Japanese audio or original audio. Please do not select English, as we are only using the original and the Japanese channels. There will be no audio on the English channel. Audio selections for tonight, oh, sorry, just said that. After you have selected the language you'd like to listen in, please click done, and it should set to that audio channel. If you have questions during the presentation, please select the Q&A icon at the bottom middle of your screen and enter your question there. You can enter questions in Japanese or English. We will try to get through as many as we can at the end of the presentation, and I will ask for everyone's patience as we figure out how to do that for the first time in 2 languages. We are grateful to the city of Clearwater, the city of Nagano, and the Ikebana International St. Petersburg chapter for their support of tonight's program. We also extend our sincere thanks to Alexandra Harrison, who is the coordinator for international relations at Nagano City. And we thank her for all of her help with logistics, promotion, and serving as tonight's Japanese language interpreter. Tonight, we will learn about Ikebana and flower arranging, and in particular, the style of the Ichiyo School of Ikebana. Ikebana is thought to date back to the Heian period, which was from about 794 to 1185 AD. The practice, which roughly translates as making flowers come alive, uses carefully selected blossoms, greenery, and other flora to convey a specific feeling or emotion to an observer, just as a painting or sculpture might do. The Ichiyo School is one of many styles of Ikebana, and I will let our guest speaker teach us more about that tonight. Jeanne Houlton is the president of the Ichiyo Florida chapter and a member and former president of Ikebana International St. Petersburg. She has practiced Ikebana for several decades and teaches the Ichiyo style locally. Jeanne's arrangements have been on display both locally and around the world. So without further delay, please help me welcome Jeanne Houlton. Thank you.
I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and given the name Waitake Keipo. I was asked to introduce myself and talk about my background with Ikebana and my connection to Japan. When I began to write this, it sounded like a book and it didn't sound like me. But I was born after World War II, so it's all history to me. I'm fourth generation American of Japanese ancestry, and Japanese is my first language. My parents read and wrote in Japanese. My family were some of the earliest Japanese to come to the US during the Meiji era, which was at the turn of the 20th century. My grandmother was a picture bride from Hiroshima, and most of my family who did not emigrate to the USA and stayed in Hiroshima died from the atomic bomb in 1945. During the war, my family in the USA, um, except for the ones who lived in Hawaii, were interned in camps. And my father and his two brothers, who were of course Americans, were fought in World War II. And my father was a translator for Japanese prisoners in Guam during the war. After my father and his brothers passed away, they and their wives are buried at Punchbowl Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific, which is a tourist destination in Hawaii. In my last job for 10 years, I was a leather goods merchandise manager for duty-free shoppers, whose main customers were Japanese tourists to the Pacific Rim. I took managers from our locations on tours of Japanese stores in Tokyo, so that we could study what Japanese liked. And so I studied Japanese fashion for a living and provided leather goods for their purchase. I started Ikebana lessons in 1970, and because of the design aspect, was fascinated with it. Since I retired, I have focused on advancing my skills in Ikebana. There are over 100 registered schools of Ikebana in Japan today, and my school, Ichiyo School, is most known for its contemporary arrangements. The Ichiyo School was founded in 1937, and the types of arrangements range from classic to modern styles. I became the president of the Ichiyo chapter in 2006. I have belonged to Ikebana International for almost 30 years. It's an umbrella school for all schools of Ikebana. Ikebana International was founded in 1956 by Mrs. Ellen Gordon Allen, who studied Ikebana in Japan, while her husband, Major General Frank Allen, was in Korea in 1950 and 51. When World War II was over, many military officials were assigned to Japan from the US, and many brought their wives. These wives took Ikebana classes alongside the wives of diplomats from other countries. Mrs. Allen strongly felt that the art of Ikebana could foster world peace and made the motto, friendship through flowers. She started this worldwide organization with the first chapter in Washington, D.C. Florida once had 9 Ikebana chapters because of all the military bases we have here. Today, there are 21 military bases. Florida is strategically located to protect the Atlantic and Caribbean, and until the Second World War was one of the smaller states based on population. After the Pearl Harbor attack in December 41, Florida became a large training and manufacturing ground for the military because of its warm climate. Florida now has 5 Ikebana chapters, which is still more than any other state. Ikebana International is in 44 countries, 138 chapters, and with about 7,000 members. Our Clearwater St. Petersburg chapter has 70 members and is the second largest in Florida. So for today's demonstration, I will make 5 arrangements from the Ichiyo School, and I'm going to use mainly local materials. So you'll get to see Florida materials. So excuse us while we switch over. But it's fast, not too fast.
Not too fast. Just water.
Okay. I bought this, this is shampoo ginger, and I selected this blue vase. So this is in honor of Ukraine. And this is cardboard palm. So it's a cycad. It's one of the oldest plants on earth. And this is sea grapes from our yard. And this is a female tree because it has the berries. And I only have one plant, so there must be a male plant in my neighborhood. Let me start. I haven't cut any of these yet, but they are, find the one I want to cut. You see my base? And in Ikebana, we cut everything underwater. Those were pre-cut, cut underwater, so you create a vacuum. And so the water runs up the branch or whatever it is. And if you cut it in air, there's an air bubble. So when you put it again in water, the air bubble prevents the water from running up. That's why you see people cutting it underwater. My sea grapes. And incidentally, this is variegated because the one typically in Florida is solid green. I think I'm done. So you can move it.
We have a question. You want to answer them as you do specific
Yeah,
arrangements?
I like to answer. Water. Water is a material in Ikebana. So everything has water. And so once I went to a class and there were 90 people in the class. So the teacher said, where's your water? I said, well, I didn't use any. He said, water is a material. And that was my critique. And so I paid to learn that. But it is, so if you read about Ikebana, it says water is a material. just like a vase is or a flower is. I like to make this arrangement because when I make it, people, like, if you have it displayed, people ask you, how did you grow the glass, the bamboo through the glass? And they really think that the bamboo is growing through the glass. Not very happy. Have it upside down. This is Song of India, and this is foxtail fern, and this is Xanadu. I have 2 holes. I drilled 2 holes in this bamboo. And I'm gonna put, the size of the hole is the same. I got a drill bit. The size of the hole is the same as the stem. If the hole is too small, or if the hole is too big, the flower won't stand up. Because that's the only thing holding it up is being in that. The only thing holding it, all of this thing up is balance. So here's the arrangement. This is a queen palm, and it's a weave that I learned from the Maoris, and I just transferred it, making it to this inflorescence of this palm. I don't know what Maoris did with it, but I read it that they did it. That's where we learned it. This is hanging heliconia from my yard. You're looking at the backside.
Your yard must be a tropical paradise.
It's small, no, well, it's too small. I don't have enough of them. I mean, I'm happy with what I have, but I don't have, it takes a lot of time to work on it. And what I wanted to do was to have vertical integration. So I thought if I plant the plant, grow the plant, and then I use it for Ikebana, I'd save a lot of money. So this is, I'm gonna put this bamboo in here, but I cut a slit, and the slit is the same size as this base. And I cut 2 holes the same size as, oh, they took the sign off. Anyways, the anthurium. So this is a obaki anthurium, and this is a anthurium leaf. So these holes are gonna hold this too. Done. Oh, no, I can put water in it. Bamboo has a node. It grows like this, and do you see that slit? There's a node. You can put water in it. So, yeah, so This is my last one. This is Harry Lauder's walking stick. So I think this is the only thing I have here today that didn't grow in Florida. This comes from up north. And this is palmetto palms that was, it's from a forced burn. You know what forced burn is? Anyway, they burn empty lots for, to get rid of insects and also to promote new growth. So this was found there. And I have a bunch of more anthuriums. I'm using a Kenzan. This is the only arrangement with a Kenzan. It's a needle point holder. Take a look at it. I think I had sea grapes for this. I usually don't remember. Found it. Have to make room for the sea grapes. You put this 244. This material is dry. It's not live, so it's harder to stain the kenzan. Same with this dry material. Kenzans are made for fresh material, so if you have dry material and you're putting it in, you're supposed to attach it to fresh material here, so you won't be struggling like I'm struggling. I'll put this in first. This is prettier once I put it in the front. Okay, this is it. It's called group contrast. This is the last lesson we have when it's structured before we start going to freestyle. Thank you very much. You have questions?
Yeah, so for questions, I'm not sure if there'll be any online. We can start with some in person. And Alexandra, if there are questions, maybe you can say them in English because I'm listening on the Japanese channel. And then I can repeat them live. Okay, so let's start. We have a question right in the middle.
Do you have to use a specific number, like an even number of audio?
No.
flowers, or
We just make triangles.
just make
So it
it-
depends on the school. There's many schools of Ikebana. And our school is, how does it look? And that's why I like, and we don't judge, we don't give blue ribbons. We just do it for fun. So everybody's happy. As long as you're happy with what you did, that's what counts. But Ikebana is based on triangles, so everything should have a triangle in it. And within that triangle, we usually have different sizes of flowers, so then it becomes another, so, it's not a flat triangle, it's more depth.
For that to last longer, would you fill that? bubble
Yeah,
with water?
we, because of carrying it, I didn't fill it
Yeah,
up.
so I-
But you can fill it up to the top. So if you're at home, fill it as high as it can because it evaporates. And you won't have to filter often. Thank you. Anthurium. But this variety is called obake. And I don't think I use any regular anthurium. Yeah, I didn't use any regular.
Website.
We will review the video and post it on the website when we're able to. Yeah.
I wonder where you got your bases. Do you
I collect them.
go to the yard sales or?
Yeah, it
thrift shops?
depends. No. And if you see something you like, you better buy it now. Because it's not gonna be there or you're gonna forget about it. Then you're gonna think you wish you bought it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's another thing about our school, we can make arrangements larger by adding more than one vase. So if you really like a vase, buy 2 or 3 or 4. Because you can't carry, for example, if I have to fill up this table, I don't have a vase from here to here, but I can bring 5 vases, and then make one arrangement. So that's that's one of the things that we do. But when you do Ikebana, you start collecting vases. And in the audience, I have my student is here, Toshi Poston. She can stand up. Anyway, she collects vases too. She has lots of vases, right, Toshi?
We have a question from online. You used a lot of Florida flowers today. Florida, the seasons don't change as much, but if you were looking specifically to try to do a fall arrangement, what kind of flowers or plants do you recommend for the fall or winter season?
We can get anything anybody else can get because it's all flown in. So we have to go to the store.
Thank you.
Bamboo from the flea market or something?
The what?
Farmer's market?
The what?
Bamboo, but
I don't know. It's very difficult to get. I get that from a friend, but it's not easy to get because and you need it a certain width and you want it too small, you can't use it for a vase. So it has to be the right diameter and it has to be the right thickness. Because I cut the bamboo down by myself.
Can we, the question was about the bamboo, correct? So how, yeah, about that, she's describing how to get the right bamboo.
Anyway, so you need the right thickness in the wall. So if I go over there, they can't see me. But anyway, so yeah,
is
if
it
you,
hard to work with bamboo? Is it hard?
no,
No?
it's skill. I think it's skill because people are scared of it. But if I can do it at my age, I can cut 50 feet bamboo if you know how to do it. You just need space. So if you tell me where it is, call me. But people have called and then I go there, the bamboo's dry. I don't want dry bamboo, I want green bamboo. you know, or they said, oh, it's really large, and then you go there, it's this big. Anything else? Nobody in Japan?
She's still following up on the answer, so there's like a time delay for listening and translating. Alexandra, are there any questions on your side? Any online? Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
What is your favorite plant or flower to work with? What do
Oh.
you enjoy the most
I
using?
don't have a favorite, because I learned a lesson. Once a couple of times I said, I hate that plant, I hate that flower. Then you see somebody using it that knows how to use it and go, oh, I think I like it. And same with vases. So I like all of them, because it's not the plant, it's what you do with it. You can do something with every plant, every living thing, just like people, right? They're all good. It's what you do with it.
You happen to mention in your introduction that Jeanne is a master. Ikebana master.
No, I think I just introduced her, but you are a
I'm a
master
I'm a
of the
master.
Ichiyo School.
Ichiyo School.
Thank you for pointing out.
I have a fan.
I think then that's all of our questions. I'm gonna come back on screen just so I can address people. Oh, we do have one more question.
Is there a limit to the amount of flowers used until
Okay.
it becomes too much?
It's all visual. You can use as many as you want. And actually, you know, and then I like all kind. I mean, we can make it with lots of flowers too. It's what you do with it. So it's not that we only use 2 flowers. Because here, there's a lot of flowers in this.
Lovely. Thank you for the presentation. Lovely work.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Have you put any of your flowers in the museum down in St. Pete?
I did it for 24 years. The Art and Bloom has been there 25 years. I did it 24 years.
Oh, really?
And this is my 24th year. And I've done it more years than anybody else because I schedule myself around it. When I know Art and Bloom is there, I don't travel. I don't go anyplace because I want to do Art and Bloom.
Wonderful. I remember seeing when I went, I saw Ikebana, but I didn't look at the name. I didn't know.
Our Ikebana chapter always has a exhibition once a year. It's usually in March, but this year it's going to be in January. So if you want to see a lot of these, there'll be, you know, we usually make around 80 pieces. So it's worth walking. We've been doing that at Treasure Island at Community Center. But if you're interested, I can tell Stephanie and Stephanie can tell them, come.
Well, we're happy to share with them.
Well, it's Japanese art. Ikebana is flower arranging and Japanese art. So it's not just, we do origami too. You know, it's all the Japanese arts, and Ikebana is as important as sculpture is to Japan. Because it started with the priests doing it, and they used to make huge arrangements, like the size of a room. And they started competing. Well, there's no blue ribbons, but you know, they compete and to see who was the best. And so, you know, anyway, and I think it was when Japan was shut out from the rest of the world too, that's they just consider it an art. So you just keep building it, and this is the art piece, but it's a living art piece. Because, you know, everything I did, Ikebana is not flowers in a vase. You don't just stuff it in. You make it into some kind of art or doing it.
I just want to take a minute to thank you as a little gift from
Oh,
Sister Cities. And
Thank you very much.
for being with
It was my
us.
pleasure.
And we do have one more question. Sorry. How long? Okay. How long will Ikebana last if you put more or less water in, like an arrangement?
It depends on the flowers. It really, everything depends. And Ikebana conditions their plant material. So and Japanese have studied how to condition this plant, that plant, and they're all different. And so I have compiled a book of each plant and what to do for conditioning. So for this one, the only thing I did was put, because I don't have, when you do a demonstration, it only has to last, it can die in 5 minutes when I'm out of here. So anyway, so all I did was put on the water and put flower food. We use flower food for everything because when these things are shipped, they come in a box and they're in the dark. So they haven't had water or food for days. And then until the box is open. And then it's, hungry, it's thirsty, it wants light. And so you give it flower food and it comes back.
Wonderful.
How long would this last if we would leave it on the table for?
I don't know. Anthuriums last a long time. I don't know, 2 weeks maybe.
Oh, okay.
That for anthuriums. And then, the other thing is you should recut underwater. Supposed to recut underwater every day and change the water every day. But most people don't, even teachers don't. I mean, to be practical, we don't, but that's theoretically, we're told to do that. So that's how you can make it last a long time, because what kills flowers and plants is bacteria. So you need to have everything clean. Your kenzan has to be clean. Your scissors have to be clean. They said to treat it like dishes, like food, like it's food, because you're going to cause bacteria. And if you have a dirty bucket and you keep plants or flowers in it, and the bucket has soil or something in it, you're killing the plant. So it has to be absolutely clean, and it'll last longer. There's a lot of things, but a lot of it's common sense, but I'm very interested in that subject. I told you I compiled a book. Actually, and I've written several pamphlets that were given out at Art and Bloom, and also it was published in Washington, D.C. for the Ikebana chapter there. And then Naples chapter also bought my pamphlet about conditioning.
Well, before we leave, again, thank you, Jamie, for being with us. And I did mention at the beginning that this is one of 2 events. So later in the summer, Nagano will be hosting a similar culture art event where we will zoom in as they present in Japan. So we will have more details on that. Please sign up or send us an email, and we're happy to put you on our list to let you know when those details are finalized. The plan right now is to look at something really specific in Nagano, an art form, and see how that is and experience it culturally through this virtual platform that we are blessed to have and use, and it worked, thank goodness. All right.
She's saying something.
She's fine, yeah. All right. Thank you all online and thank you all in person.